Hi everyone, I am Nilanandhini, Assistant Professor of English, A.D.M. College for Women. Now we are going to see a play by Kalidasa, Shakuntala. First we see author introduction. Kalidasa was a renowned Sanskrit poet and dramatist. He is often considered one of the greatest literary figures of ancient India. He is considered as the Indian Shakespeare and the Prince of Indian poets. His plays and poetry are primarily based on Hindu Puranas and philosophy. His works revolve around the ideas such as expressing the love on nature, praising the season and monsoon, glorifying the field and sky, illustrating Mother Earth. With his simplistic and lucid style of writing, he brought a Sanskrit poetry to a level that has rarely been surpassed in Indian history. His poetic style impacted all subsequent poets as well as current poets of the 20th century. It's possible that he wrote under the patronage of Gupta dynasty, which ruled most of the Indian subcontinent during his lifetime. His surviving works consist of 3 plays, 2 epic poems, 2 shorter poems. Raghuvamsa, which describes the entire family tree of Raghuvamsa starting from Dilipa to Rama. Then Meghadatta, then Kumara Sambhava, which contains many poems on birth history of goddess Parvati. The next, the Ritu Samhara, which describes 6 seasons. Next, 3 famous romantic plays written by Kalidasa are Malavik Agnimitram, Vikramor Vashyam, and Abhinjana Sakuntalam. Many works of Kalidas are translated into various languages. Historical context of Shakuntala. The story of Shakuntala originates in Mahabharata, a large collection of legendary, philosophical and religious material that date at least as early as 400 BC. The story of Dushyanta and Shakuntala is in the book of the beginning, the Adi Parva of Mahabharata. Shakuntala's son, Sarvadhamana, later called Bharata, is a legendary emperor in the work and one of the official names of modern India. Bharata may derive from this story. The Mahabharata attained its final textual form and became pervasive in Indian culture around the time that Kalidasa lived in the 4th century CE. The Gupta period, dating from approximately the mid-3rd to the mid-5th century, is sometimes known as the Golden Age because of the tremendous cultural flowering across the Indian subcontinent during these centuries, with Shakuntala being a prominent literary example. Abhinjana Sakuntalam. Abhinjana Sakuntalam was written in Sanskrit language. It was translated into English by William James in 1789. It was also written in many Western languages. In fact, it is the first ever Indian play to be translated into any Western languages. The play is not entirely a pure Sanskrit play, but some elements of Indian dialect, best known as Maharashtri, Prakrit, are found. The period in which the play was written has ever been unknown, but it is assumed that it might have lived in between 2nd century BC to 4th century AD. Kalidasa turned the story into an elegant piece of art by giving it a theme of love, passion, reunion, separation, the same into elegant work of art with a lot of innovation. The play is beautifully intertwined with a dramatic power and poetic beauty. Kalidasa has made some deviations from the main story in Mahabharata, signifying the important episode added in Shakuntala by Kalidasa. This play is also known as by many titles such as Shakuntala, the recognition of Shakuntala, and the sign of Shakuntala. The play is written during 4th to 5th century. The play takes place in northern India. The period of the play is called the Classical Indian, and it was set in the Himalayan foothills. The antagonist of the play was Durvasa's curse, and the point of view in which the play was represented is 3rd person omniscient. The plot of the play. Shakuntala is renowned Sanskrit play. It is a play based on the story of Mahabharata. It tells the captivating story of a young woman named Shakuntala and her fateful encounters with King Dushyanta. The play explores timeless themes of love, destiny, and the powerful bonds of spiritual connection. It follows Shakuntala's journey as she navigates the complexities of royal life, facing both triumph and tragedy along the way. Through the vivid characters and poetic language, Kalidasa masterfully crafts a tale that has enchanted audience of centuries. Shakuntala stands as one of the most beloved and influential works in classical Indian literature. The characters of the play. The major characters in the play are Shakuntala, Dushyanta, Sarvadamana, Bharata, Kanva, and Durvasa. Shakuntala is the heroine of the play, a beautiful young woman. She is the daughter of royal sage and a nymph Menaka and the foster daughter of Kanva. King Dushyanta. King Dushyanta, a member of Kuru lineage, a reign in northern India with its capital at Hastinapura. Sarvadamana or Bharata. Sarvadamana is the King Dushyanta and Shakuntala's son. He is destined to become a world emperor, a fate prophesied by Vaikanasa at the beginning of the play. Kanva. Kanva is a great sage, a head of hermitage that the setting of the play's first few acts and Shakuntala's beloved foster father. Durvasa. Durvasa is a hot-tempered sage who visits the hermitage, then places a curse on Shakuntala and King Dushyanta because Shakuntala, distracted by her new husband's absence and her pregnancy, fails to welcome him with the appropriate formality. Durvasa's curse causes Dushyanta to forget Shakuntala and the fact that they have married, with the exception that if King sees a memento such as his signet ring, the curse will be lifted. The minor characters in the play are Anushya, a friend of Shakuntala, Priyambada, a friend of Shakuntala, Gautami, Sangrav, Shartavat, Rishi Vishwamit, Rishi Marishi, Lord Indra, Menaka, Mathali, fisherman, and a god Vidushaka. The birth of Shakuntala. The play commences with a flashback story of Shakuntala's birth. Vishwamit, a powerful sage, was meditating to earn the title Brahma Rishi. His penance was so intense it frightened the Lord Indra, who sent a beautiful nymph, Menaka, to seduce him. Vishwamitra couldn't hold his emotion for her and he broke his penance. Menaka and Vishwamitra lived together and were blessed with a daughter. But their relationship was short-lived as he came to know the truth that Lord Indra played a game with him and the Menaka was just a tool. He left Menaka and their daughter fearing to control his emotion toward Oman. Helpless Menaka abandoned the daughter and Rishi Kanva found the baby and nurtured. The play has 7 acts. In the first act, Dushyanta, the king of Hastinapura, while chasing a deer, enters the ashram of sage Kanva in his chariot. The king aims at the deer, but a monk restricts him to hunt in the premises of sage Kanva. Then, on being invited by the monk, Dushyanta enters the ashram. The monk informs the king that sage Kanva is out for some days. Shakuntala, accompanied by 2 companions, Priyambada and Anushya, welcomes the royal guest. The king, mesmerized by the beauty of Shakuntala, meanwhile a wasp has been hovering around Shakuntala and she runs towards Dushyanta for safety. Dushyanta talks to Shakuntala and her companions. He also comes to know that Shakuntala is the daughter of Kshatriya, a warrior king turned Rishi Vishwamitra. And the king informed that Shakuntala is the foster child of sage Kanva. Just then, agitated elephant enters the ashram and Dushyanta orders his soldiers to take care of the animal. Shakuntala also been suffering from the pangs of love. Cupid has done his work. Shakuntala leaves the place with the companions, burning with the desire for Dushyanta. The Act 2. Dushyanta is also lovesick. He is with the foal Vidushaka. The fool is fed up with the business of hunting in the forest. The king forbids his generals and soldiers to kill any animal and instructs them not to disturb the holy men. He confesses to the fool that he cannot live without Shakuntala. He asks the fool to manage his stay there for some more time. Two ascetics, young ones, arrive and request the king to protect their sacred fireplace from the plundering of the demons. The king happily agrees. The messengers from kingdom inform the king about his mother's instructions to bring back the king. Dushyanta sends his army back and himself and stays back. He also forbids the fool not to reveal his secret to his other queens in the town. He decides to make Shakuntala his Patrani, the queen of queens. In the Act 3, Shakuntala has so far spent her life in the quiet environment of the ashramam, but now her contact with handsome young king has made her lovesick. She has been lying on the bed of flowers thinking of Dushyanta. She discusses the matter with her companion. Meanwhile, Dushyanta is hiding in a room listening to their confessions. Shakuntala confesses that Dushyanta can be her only mate in his world and she will not live without him. The king appears on the scene and declares his love for Shakuntala. The two companions leave the scene and the two lovers have the opportunity to know each other. The king proposes the enactment of Gandharva marriage, yet Shakuntala is reluctant. The king leaves the place to protect the ashramam from the wrath of demons. Act 4. The ceremony of Gandharva marriage is solemnized. After spending some time with Shakuntala, Dushyanta leaves the ashram to look after his kingdom. He assures Shakuntala that he would send his men to fetch her to his capital. Since the day, she has been feeling lonely and lonely. One day, she sits at the door of her hut. A great sage, Kanva, known for his anger, arrives and asks for alms, but Shakuntala is lost in her thoughts. The sage feels offended and becomes annoyed. The enraged Rishi curses Shakuntala by saying that whosoever she is thinking of would forget her as due to being engrossed in her thoughts. She has neglected her duty. Her companion Priyamvada apologizes to the sage, explains him everything and pleads to him to help Shakuntala. The sage tells that curse can't be undone, but its impact can be nullified. Thus, on showing any signet ornament of her lover to him, he will remember her. Priyamvada and Anushya know about this curse, and Shakuntala is unaware of all this. They know that the signet ring of Dushyanta is with Shakuntala. They assume that the presence of signet ring will neutralize the impact of the curse. So they didn't tell anyone. When the sage Kanva returns from his pilgrimage, he hears a prophecy from heaven about the marriage of Shakuntala with King Dushyanta. He also learns that Shakuntala is pregnant. He peeps into the orb of future with his spiritual powers and sees a bright and illustrious carrier of Shakuntala's son. He approves of this marriage. On the other side, the curse of Durvasa shows its power. The king became oblivious of this relationship with Shakuntala and no one comes to ashram to take Shakuntala. Shakuntala is pregnant and the sage makes necessary arrangements to send Shakuntala to her husband. Shakuntala bids adieu to her friends, deer, pets, and even trees. Sage Kanva, deeply pained to see this, but gives elderly advice to Shakuntala. Along with woman Gautami and two ascetics, the Shakuntala arrives the kingdom of King Dushyanta. Act 5. Shakuntala is accompanied by two young ascetics, Sangrav and Shatuvat, and a woman Gautami. They appear before the king. Sangrav tells the king about a previous development and that Shakuntala is his wedded wife. The ascetic tells the king that sage Kanva has also approved their Gandharva marriage, and so he has sent them to the king. But the king Dushyanta is under the spell of the curse, so he fails to recognize Shakuntala. Gautami shows him the face of Shakuntala. but he shows his helplessness. Now Shakuntala is reminded of the signet ring of Dushyanta, but the ring is missing. On the way, the ring slips from her finger and falls into the river and gets swallowed by a fish. The ascetics try their best to persuade the king, but of no use. The ascetics and Gautami leave Shakuntala and depart. Shakuntala weeps and moans. Then a celestial named Menaka, a Apsara in the court of Lord Indra in the heaven, and also the mother of Shakuntala, descends from heaven and takes Shakuntala with her. The king is shocked to see this. Act 6. Days later, a fisherman has a good catch in the river and he finds a gold ring in the belly of fish. He tries to sell in the market. It is the same signet ring of Dushyanta which he had given to Shakuntala. The soldiers take time to the thief and bring him to the royal court. When the king sees the ring, the curse loses its potency and he at once remembers his marriage with Shakuntala. But her mother Menaka has taken her away and the king is now grief stricken. One nymph visits the palace to see the condition of Dushyanta. She is invisible and finds the king grief stricken. The god brings a letter from his minister that informs him about the death of a merchant in a boat accident. Now his property would go to the royal treasury. The king now realizes if he dies without sons, then his wealth is also go to others. He faints. Then a charioteer of Lord Indra, Matali, arrives from heaven to take Dushyanta to a battle with demons. Dushyanta at once leaves for heaven to fight with mighty demons and assist God. Act 7. King Dushyanta defeats the demons and helps the gods to retain supremacy in 3 worlds. Lord Indra honors the brave king and bids him farewell to the earth. On his way back to earth, Dushyanta is attracted by a beauty of Hemkut mountain where the sage meditates in his ashram. Dushyanta comes down from the chariot to pay his regards to the sage. In the ashram, the king sees a healthy boy playing with a lion. He is trying to count the teeth of the lion. The king is amazed to see a brave boy. The boy resembles the king and instinctively Dushyanta develops a liking for the boy. The king is informed that boy's mother name is Shakuntala and the boy belongs to a Puru family. Dushyanta at once realizes that he himself is the father of this boy. Shakuntala appears on the scene and falls on his feet. She weeps bitterly. The king apologizes for everything that has happened with Shakuntala. The king visits the sage Marich to pay his regards. The sage tells the king that due to the curse, the king could not remember anything about his marriage with Shakuntala. So the king proves his innocence. The sage blesses both of them and sends them back to their kingdom. This boy is Bharat, who became a great king and a warrior. The play ends on a happy note. Significance of the play. The play Shakuntala has endured a timeless classic, captivating audience with its poetic language, complex characters, and themes of love, destiny, and the power of spiritual connection. Shakuntala's story continues to be celebrated and studied, highlighting the enduring appeal of its masterpiece in Sanskrit literature. Theme: Love and Duty. Dushyanta loves hunting, however, stops when he helps to remember his duty to save her the seclusion. He will undoubtedly offers his appreciation to sage Kanva and meets Shakuntala in Kanva's absence. He experiences a passionate feeling from the outset but maintains a social qualities. He asks if Shakuntala is Kshatriya and if she somehow managed to be hitched. He considers a social request and proposes his affection and recommends a Gandharva Vivah solely after discovering she is Kshatriya's little girl. Shakuntala and her companion obediently water the trees day by day and she dutiful undoubtedly stretched out her friendliness to sage Durvasa. Yet her obliviousness causes her to fail to remember her duty, bringing about the curse and partition of the sweetheart. The next theme is fate and destiny. Shakuntala delves into themes of fate and karma, which plays a significant part in the character's life. The curse that leads Dushyanta to forget and to Shakuntala to suffer depicts a fate and consequence of one's actions. The play emphasizes that the people must face the consequence of their previous deeds and accept their positive or negative fate. The next theme is love conquers all. Shakuntala is well-known romantic myth. The entire narrative is battle between forces wanting to divide Shakuntala and Dushyanta's love on one side and a force seeking to separate them on the other. Eventually, their adoration is sufficiently strong to endure a divide. The afflictions of time and detachment and even a great beyond. This is a textbook case of love triumphing against all odds. Shakuntala's principal responsibility is to create a mythological, legendary setting for the birth of Bharat and his empire. His birth and return to earth reflect the zenith of Dushyanta and Shakuntala love and the difficulties they overcome together. The next theme is nature and spirituality. The normal world and its association with a divine or repeating subject in Shakuntala. The seclusion where Shakuntala lives and a profound bond with the nature represents purity, effortlessness, and spirituality. The play underlines tracking down comfort and illumination through fellowship with nature and proposes that the divine is available in the regular domain. The next theme is identity and self-realization. Shakuntala goes through a transition during the play, eventually understanding her actual identity and purpose. Initially shown as a native and naive young lady, she develops emotionally and intellectually due to her experience and learns to express herself. Shakuntala's path to self-discovery and final reconciliation with Dushyanta depicts the concept of identity and self-realization. Symbolism and imagery in the play Shakuntala. Celestial imagery, references to the sun, moon, and stars symbolize the divine and the cosmic order that shapes the character's life. The floral motifs, the flowers like lotus and jasmine are used to represent purity, beauty, and the fragility of life. The signal ring of that the Dushyanta gives Shakuntala serve as a physical and metaphorical symbol of their bond. Kalidasa weaves in references to the Hindu deities and mythological figures to add the depth and resemblance to the narrative. The role of nature in Shakuntala. The flowers and plants represent beauty, purity, and spirituality that permeate the play. The hermitage and forest serve as a metaphor for the character's connection to the natural world. The birds and their songs are used to convey the character's emotions and the rhythm of the narrative. Rivers and lakes represent the flow of life, renewal, and the divine in the play. Influence of Shakuntala on Indian literature. Shakuntala has been adapted into various forms, including plays, operas, and films, expanding in rich and cultural impact. The play has been transmitted into various languages, introducing Kalidasa's masterpiece to a global audience. Shakuntala's enduring popularity and the acclaims of Kalidasa have influenced a generation of Indian writers and poets.